Brace yourself. It's Andy Snowden, stage and stage and stage and screen.
Meet You on the North Side, taken from the Sunbirds' debut album, Cool to Be Kind. Wonderful. Right, so my guest today is someone who has been at the top of their game for the best part of 4 decades. He joined the House Martins as a drummer in the late 80s alongside Fatboy Slim, Norman Cook and Paul Heaton, who he later joined in the original lineup of arguably one of the most celebrated bands of the 1990s, the Beautiful South. Fast forward to 2020 and Dave set up his own band, the Sunbirds, and during lockdown released their debut album, Cool to Be Kind, and the first song off that album, Meet You on the North Side, and at the end of this month they will release the second single off that album, Gene Kelly, before hitting the road for some long-awaited live shows early in February. And I'm so pleased to say that the man himself joins me on the line now. Dave Hemingway, are you there, sir?
Yeah, is that Andy?
It is indeed. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not bad. How are you?
I'm very well. Thanks for speaking to us again. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Wonderful. Well, I'll start by wishing you a happy New Year. Did you have a good Christmas?
Well, first of all, thanks. Happy New Year to you too. But it was quiet for me. Very quiet. Nothing much happening. So yeah, it was a quiet one.
Nice. I think we get to an age when we think that sounds actually idyllic.
Yeah, well, I still like the occasional sort of let my hair down, what's left of it. So,
yeah. And do you do resolutions? Are you big on that kind of thing?
No, I mean, when I used to break them straight away, so yeah. It's no problem. There's no point doing them, really, for me.
Yeah, fair enough. So, the last time we spoke, it seems best part of 18 months ago now, which seems amazing, really. Your new album was about to be released, Cool to Be Kind. Was it Was it well received? Were you happy with it?
Well, we were happy with it, for sure. Yeah, we were proud of it, really, and still are, because... obviously, we had to do it all ourselves because not having a record company or anything like that behind us to do, the writing, the recording, everything really, even down to the artwork. So, yeah, we were very happy with it, and hopefully I think it was quite well received. We haven't had a chance to go and do any gigs yet, although we're starting in February. But, we haven't had a chance to go out there and play the songs live, which was a bit disappointing, but hopefully we can these songs out there, and hopefully people will come along and have a listen.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've been, as I say, you've been in the music business for the best part of 4 decades now, with both, the House Martins and the Beautiful
When you put it like that, yeah.
But you must
I didn't realise. Well, yes, I suppose you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, you must have seen the music industry change quite dramatically over the years, right?
Oh, definitely. It's a lot different from when I first started, for sure. Everything's done differently, from record shops to, CDs, vinyl, everything. It's all online now, isn't it? So, yeah, everything's changed in that respect.
Would you say it's easier or harder for bands trying to break through?
It's never been easier for bands to break through, but I'd say it was harder, really. I don't see... if you're putting out songs online, how all these young and new songwriters are sort of getting paid for it, really, and getting it, getting out there. Before, I used to make a record and put it in the shops, but it doesn't work that way these days. So I think it's a bit harder, actually, these days.
I suppose, in our day, if you went on Top of the Pops or TFI Friday or Jules Holland or something, you were halfway there, right?
Oh, absolutely. Well, Top of the Pops was the place to be, wasn't it? To get on there was a dream, So, but again, that's not on there anymore, is it? So no. I think it's only Jules Holland, which is the live music show at the moment. Is the only one I can think of. Yeah. So, it's tough.
Do you remember your Top of the Pops fondly? Top of the Pops days fondly? They're quite... I often wonder if the reality of doing a show such as, an iconic show like that, did it weigh up to the expectation?
Absolutely did for me. Watching it as a kid, to actually to think you end up on there is just a bit surreal, and to actually get on there, yeah, it's a lot. People will tell you it's a little studio, and sort of used to put the people, sort of rope them around and take them from stage to stage. It's not as big as you might think it might be, but that didn't matter a thing. It was just such a legendary program to get on there, and it was just a dream come true, really, and something you never forget. It was for me, anyway.
Do you remember how many you did?
Oh, I did about 10, I think, maybe. About 10, something like that.
I mean,
maybe,
it is incredible.
Maybe a bit more.
Yeah, because I think as well. I mean, if you were posh, you had a video. So for most of us, if you missed it, you missed out. So you had to basically tell your family to watch it, otherwise.
Yeah. No, it was a real pleasure to be on there. You know, it was great. It was like a dream come true from, as I say, watching it as a kid to actually being lucky enough, and it was lucky, you know, to get on there. It was just, like I say, a bit surreal for me.
Yeah, but I mean, I suppose that you could say that would be one of the big changes, thanks to the internet. I mean, if somebody missed you on something, it'd be on YouTube 10 minutes later, so that didn't matter.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm a bit of an old romantic in that way. I used to like having those sort of programs, you know, like Top of the Pops and stuff, where everything wasn't so easy to access, you know, which it is now.
No, I completely agree. And I got to tell you, and I probably told you last time we spoke, that I am I was a massive fan of the Beautiful South and the House Martins, but I think I came to the party quite late with the Beautiful South. I remember watching you on, I think it was Going Live or something on a Saturday morning. And on the back of that, my wife bought me Carry On Up the Charts, which was a best-ofs album, really. So a lot of hard work had already been done by that point. But the Carry On Up the Charts album was one of your biggest selling albums, right?
Yeah, it was for sure. And it was a sort of greatest hits sort of compilation in a way. But I don't know, I never really felt like that at the time. I thought it was a valid sort of statement of songs we'd done to that day, up to that time. So I didn't really think of it as selling out or anything like that. I thought it was okay, we've done some albums and here's the best of those albums and we'll put it together for another album. And I don't mean that to sound sort of callous or anything like that, but I just thought it was a valid album at the time, and it was the best of us, really. It was the best sort of songs we'd done up to that date. So yeah, it was a good album, and it did sell very well. Yeah, I
do. I love it. It's still in my car now, and my kids listen to it.
Oh,
now.
Good.
Well,
yeah. I put it in your kids, are you?
But I get in the car after they've been in, and it's bloody playing so loud, and I'm going, my God. 36D, that loud. I get out and I go, someone's been playing the music far too loud when they're driving.
Yeah. Well, fair enough.
But you get that now that, I mean, you must have the different age groups of your fan base must be, just the different generations must be lovely. Yeah,
well, funnily enough, as you say, fans did tend to play it to the kids and grew up listening to it in cars and stuff. And, so you do get younger people coming along to the gigs now because they've been brought up on it, which is great. Really, it's a good thing for us to know that people like the music that much, and down to the kids. So it has definitely worked that way for sure.
But your fans, especially of the Beautiful South, it was almost like it wasn't like just like in a normal band. It was almost like a religious sect of some description. They were very different to normal fans of bands, I think.
Yeah, they're very devoted is the way, I suppose. Yeah. And we didn't try to be a band that was sort of set apart from the fans or anything like that. We always said hello and was amongst them, really. And so we weren't sort of trying to be aloof or anything and anything like that. So I think that they liked that as well, because hopefully like the music, but also like the fact that we weren't sort of unapproachable or anything like that. So that was also good. So that's why I think we had a lot of really devoted fans and still do. So that's great.
Yeah, I think the band very much felt like something that was reachable for people. If they wanted to be in a band themselves, they could have done it by watching a band like the Beautiful South, because especially for working class kids who it wasn't like like, I don't know, let's say the Pink Floyd or something like that, which looked very unattainable. Whereas the Beautiful South, they were just normal people doing something very, very well.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It was we were attainable. I mean, just blokes going down the pub really, and sort of writing songs. I mean, Paul and Dave wrote some great songs, and they were the strength of the band, really, the songs. And but having said that, we were just normal people who managed to, fortunately, get a band together that lasted that long, and it did last a long time as bands go. So it was really good. Yeah.
Absolutely, and do you remember a point where you remember thinking we're massive here, or is it just a thing where you only realise that looking back?
Well, it was always a surprise to me, really. When we played the big gigs, we did arena tours and stuff like that, sold them out, and I always had to sort of pinch myself sometimes, think, is this really happening, sort of thing. Yeah. It was one of those, because you don't expect that sort of level of people coming to gigs and that, and we certainly didn't. So it was, I don't think we ever really considered ourselves an arena band or anything like that. I think we were more comfortable in smaller venues. But it was one of those things which you never really expect, and I certainly look back on it with pride, but also thinking, wow, did that happen to me, sort of thing. A bit of luck there as well.
Yeah. And even today, I mean, you go to a wedding or an event and a DJ puts something like Happy Hour by the House Martins on. I mean, the floor's full. I mean, that must be incredible.
It is great. The fact that the music sort of still lives on, and it's hopefully timeless in that respect. And to be part of that is part of making songs which still carry on to this day. And hopefully with Sunbirds, the new band, get some songs like that as well. But to be part of that and the songs which endure is really, really, really good.
Yeah. Does that happen a lot, by the way? I'm always intrigued when you go to a football match and a song comes on, and I think that's actually somebody's song. Where's the strangest place you've been where your song's actually popped up?
Well, I remember once being in the supermarket at the checkout, and a song for whoever came on the store music, and my daughter, who was only about 3 at the time, said, "Oh, it's Daddy," and the checkout woman said, "Oh, I bet you wish it was." She didn't recognise me, but so that was a bit strange.
Fantastic.
So yeah.
Oh, brilliant! I mean, I often think, because they especially like at big football matches, and everyone starts singing it, and you think this is actually somebody's song. This, so I wonder if they're aware. But I mean, there's obviously times when you will be very aware of that happening. Yeah,
well, anytime songs come on the radio, it's still it's a nice experience, The very first time that you do hear a song of yours on the radio is brilliant, of course. But even now, it's still quite exciting to hear songs on the radio and still played. So that's great.
Yeah, brilliant. So, we better talk about the new band. I mean, tell us about it.
Yeah.
They're called Sunbirds. Who's in the lineup?
Well, it's Phil Barton on guitar and main songwriter. He was with me in the band The South that I was in previously.
Yeah.
And he brought the new songs to the table, and we decided to form Sunbirds. And we've got Laura on violin, and we've got Marc on drums, and that's the 4 of us at the stand at the moment. As the gigs are going to be doing soon, we're going to add some more musicians to actually play the songs, hopefully as best we can, and as they are on the album, because the 4 of us probably couldn't do that as just the 4 of us. But we have been doing a few acoustic gigs, but we want these gigs that are coming up to be the full month, really, the full thing, the full band. So we'll be doing that.
Right. So you've said there, is there just one writer, or is it a collaborative affair?
Excuse me. No, it's Phil's the main writer, but that's not to say that we don't get together with other people here and there. It's I think the main thing is that the songs are good, and if that means you work with other people and to get the songs that way, then so be it. I mean, obviously in the House Martins and the Beautiful South, it was Paul and Stan in the House Martins and Paul and Dave in the Beautiful South that did all the writing, because they were the best ones at it. Because I think a lot of bands fall down really when the other people bring songs to the table and they're not as good as the songwriters that are actually doing the main songwriting.
Yeah.
So so I always think it's important that the songs are good, and whoever it takes to write them to get there, that so be it. But Phil is the main songwriter in the band at the moment.
Okay. And we were saying last time we spoke again that it would be lovely just to get out and do some shows, and you've just touched on it there. Closest to us, just to say that you come into Sheffield on the 3rd of February, York on the 4th, right, yeah. Manchester on the 5th. Are you relishing it now? It's a reality.
Yes, I am. But, there's always trepidation as well, a bit of fear there, because there always is with me. But no, we're looking forward to it, because it's been so long for us to sort of have this album out and not be able to go out there and play it live, and hopefully have people come along and have a listen to the new songs. So we're definitely looking forward to it. It's exciting for us, and it's like basically starting all over again, really. And that's very exciting, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. And without giving too much away, what can people expect from it?
Well, so all the new songs from the album, but also some other new songs, and we've sort of because we've had a while since the album first came out, then we've been writing other songs, and we've got some new songs for another album, so we'll probably put some of those in there as well. So I just want people to come along and have a listen and see what they think,
Yeah.
And that's the main thing for me. I think it's important to play new songs, and that's what we're going to do. So hopefully people come along and have a listen.
And when you're writing songs, do you instinctively know which will work well live?
Well, obviously there's some which are more apparent than others for live, but I think you've got to put some other ones in there as well. I mean, you always think if you're playing live songs, then the faster ones are the ones to go with, and people like things like that. But I think slower ones can say things as well, and so we're going to try and mix it up in that respect and do a bit of everything that we can. So that's what we're aiming for.
Fantastic. And one more thing, just before I let you go, we're about to play your new single, Gene Kelly. It's out at the end of the month. It's another classic in the making. Again, how do you choose which songs out of how many there are on the album? How do you choose which ones to put out for singles? Is there a way, or do you just pluck out your favourite?
Well, I think everyone's got their own opinions on it, but some songs tend to lend themselves really to be more apparent than others, and I think North Side, which was the first single we had out, was one of those, and I think Gene Kelly is another one because it sort of stands out, and it just sounds like it should be on the radio, and people should have a listen to it and have a bit of a sing along or a dance to it, and that's what it's meant to promote anyway. It's like having a good time out, a good night out, and enjoying yourself.
Well, I've just been listening to it now, and I was taking the dog for a walk, and I was almost dancing about, because it's one of them where you can, by the second chorus, you think you know the song, so it's a classic already.
Well, and hopefully people, like the song, and we like it, so have a listen.
Brilliant. Dave, it's always a pleasure to speak to you. Thanks ever so much for that. I really appreciate it.
Cheers, Andy. All the best.
Yeah. And look forward to seeing you out on the road very, very soon.
Yeah, hope to see you. I'll see you out there.
Cheers, mate.
All right, take it easy. See you.
Bye.
There's a queue at the bus stop.
Gene Kelly from the beautiful South's co-founder Dave Hemingway from his brand new band the Sunbirds, out on the road the beginning of February, starting with Sheffield Greystones on Thursday the 3rd of February, York Crescent on Friday the 4th, and Manchester Deaf Institute on Saturday the 5th of February. Dave Hemingway on the Stage and Screen show. I'm not sure it gets much better than that.
It's the Andy Snowden radio show. It's the Andy Snowden radio show. It's the Andy Snowden radio show. It's the Andy Snowden radio show.